Hello, experiential learners. It's Steve. I hope you're doing well. This week's tutorial, we're going to focus on common concerns that interns have as they've begun their internship, what we refer to as the what ifs. And this would be what we call the anticipation stage of your internship. Now, all of you have already begun your internship. You're well in a couple weeks into it and such, but it's still somewhat unknown territory at this point, kind of an unknown world. And it might also be your first introduction into the professional work environment. So with that can come some common concerns and what ifs that interns have. So we're going to talk today just briefly about those concerns and then also provide you some strategies and approaches to addressing those concerns. So what do we mean by the anticipation stage of an internship? So when I was an intern many years ago, I remember the excitement. I was a little anxious as I started the internship, but I was more really excited about it. There was also some nervousness involved that, what if things go wrong? Or what if I'm not able to do a particular task? So we're focusing again on the what if stage of your internship. It's really important from the get-go of your internship to acknowledge any of these concerns outright. In other words, there's no shame in admitting that you have some anxieties, you have some concerns about maybe the roles that you're going to be performing in your internship, the competencies that you have to achieve in your internship. We also, when we talk about the anticipation stage, we're looking at something called the imposter syndrome. I've been working with interns for about 9 years now at Maryland, and I sometimes will see them, even the ones that are highly successful and effective, which most of them are, just kind of engage in what we call the imposter syndrome, where they're kind of externalizing their successes. So they don't believe necessarily that their achievements are the result of their hard work, their motivation, their abilities, their skills, and so forth. So we want to try to get away from that. And then finally, as I already mentioned, one of the major themes of the anticipation phase of your internship is being able to clarify, well, why am I here? What is it I'm being asked to do? Where do I fit in with the rest of the organization, with where I fit in with my colleagues and my supervisor? We've listed here some of the common what ifs that, in my experience, interns encounter. Some things like not being able to pick things up fast enough. They feel like when they enter their internship right away, they're supposed to know how to do things and do them efficiently, be efficient in a very efficient manner. And you have to realize that that's not going to be the case in a lot of areas. Asking questions, being asked questions rather, and not knowing the answers to those questions. It's important that you, as an experiential learner, ask questions throughout your internship. Put on that inquisitive mindset, but you're going to be asked questions as well, maybe from a colleague or a supervisor regarding a project you might be working on and such. So it's okay not to know all the answers. And I'll just touch on one or two more here about the crises. You see there a crisis occurring and you're not sure what to do. That's again something I will commonly hear of from interns. They're kind of expecting that they're going to go into this unknown experience having learned the ropes already, when every internship has that indoctrination phase or orientation phase where they're getting you trained on different functions and tasks that relate to their mission. How do you manage the what ifs? So first off, I want to put in a plug for two of your learning events for this semester that can help you manage the concerns or what ifs of your internship. The first is something you did last week, which was your internship learning development plan. You can go back and look at the diverse goals that you developed for your internship and see, do any of your goals address any of the what ifs or concerns? The other learning event is going to be back on the back end of things at the end of the semester will be your video poster. And that's going to be part of that is we're going to ask you to discuss what your concerns were, what were your what ifs, and how did you address those what ifs throughout your internship experience. I'm a big believer in high standards over perfectionism. I certainly hope that each of you have high standards for your internship experience for yourself, but also are okay with not achieving perfectionism. I think when we focus on perfectionism, that's when we can really, really kind of backpedal with regard to the what ifs and the concerns we have. So really trying to focus more on the high standards versus having to be perfect in all aspects of your internship. We want to also remind you that you're not in this experience alone, that there are many stakeholders, including myself as your on-campus liaison and instructor for this class, who have a vested interest in your success and effectiveness as an intern. And other stakeholders, of course, would be your site supervisor, your colleagues at your internship, other interns, clients that you might be working with, or people that you might be working with if your internship is more people-based. So you are not in this alone, and you have a lot of folks to go to for support and guidance. I found one of the best pieces of guidance I could get as an intern is really bouncing back from my mistakes and viewing any setbacks or mistakes as really growth opportunities. So being able to use that mistake then to learn from it. Throughout this course, I'm emphasizing kind of an educational and learning dimension model to your internship experience that you wouldn't be getting if you weren't taking an academic course for credit for your internship. So keep that in mind. And then focusing on building relationships with your colleagues at your internship site. So even though you may be virtual, you can still do that virtually, building those relationships, knowing who to go to for what, and so forth. And then finally, the most important one I would say on here is the practicing self-care. And what do we mean by that is you need to take care of yourself. So realizing that this internship is just one piece of your puzzle for the current semester. You have all your other classes, you may have family obligations, you might also have work obligations or having to help take care of siblings and things like that. So you have a lot on your plate. So it's important to take out some moments and really do something you enjoy and practice self-care, stepping back from stressful or moments of crisis moments in your internship and tackling them kind of in smaller bits and pieces I found to always be helpful. So again, use this information as you're moving forward in this experience, particularly as we come to the end of the semester with your video poster. We're going to ask you to reflect back on these what ifs in terms of how you manage them, what strategies did you use to manage any concerns that you had as you entered your internship. As always, I'm available for any questions, comments, or concerns. syoung17@umd.edu. Have a great day.